What did I just witness? Arsenal travel to the London Stadium and get thrashed and straight up bullied in a pathetic performance, particularly in the second half, losing 3-1 to West Ham and seeing us get eliminated from the EFL Cup in the process. Let's get right into this. For the starting 11, it was pretty close to starting 11 that I predicted for the game. We finally saw Ramsdale get a start. Zinchenko started over Tomiyasu, which I didn't agree with at the time, and I proved right for that. Gabriel and Kivior played at centre-back, which is what I predicted, and then Ben White at right-back. Jorginho started as the holding midfielder next to Havertz and Vieira, who started midfield over Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe is injured for the game, and according to Arteta, it's a big worry for him. It's a knee issue. I'm really hoping it's nothing major and Emil is back in no time, because he had a decent performance against Sheffield and I was expecting him to start probably over Vieira, but obviously the injury derailed that. Then Reece Nelson and Leandro Trossard started as the wingers, with Nketiah coming off a hat-trick and starting up front. The game started off with us showing quite a bit of control of the game. Kai Havertz had a tussle with Edson Alvarez and did very well to win the ball and a foul in the process. Reece Nelson then whipped the ball in from the foul, and Kai Havertz won the header and forced a decent save out of former Arsenal keeper Fabianski. West Ham then played a ball in that Gabriel had to header out with Kudus right on his shoulder, and that won a corner for West Ham. Then Jarrod Bowen whips the corner in, and Ben White had that horrible miscue, sending the ball into the net and scoring an own goal. Now, at the first time watching it and after watching the replay of it, I suspect that if there was VAR, then that first goal that West Ham scored would have likely been ruled out. If you saw what they did to Ramsdale, I don't know which West Ham player it was, but they clearly had a handful of Aaron Ramsdale's shirt and clearly impeded Aaron from making any sort of play there. But no VAR, so the goal wasn't overturned. It is what it is. After conceding, we looked quite good, to be fair. Nketiah had that miss from our corner where he headed just wide. We also had that Nelson chance from outside the box where it got blocked and went up for a corner. And then that Havertz header that went wide from the corner. So we were for sure having our chances, and both teams could feel that they were doing quite well throughout the first 35 minutes or so. Trossard then had a nice ball, put out a nice ball in behind the West Ham back line and found Zinchenko, who hooked it back in and found Nketiah, who just kind of swung his boot at it and sent the ball over. I think Nketiah probably should have done better in that situation, but I understand, he's coming in and he's sprinting in and it's a 50-50 and he's just kind of put anything to it. But, overall, despite being down 1-0 at the break, I actually think we were the better team for most of the first half. We just needed some better execution in the final third and to be a little more clinical. We controlled the game and controlled the ball. West Ham did have their chances. They were more clinical with them. But like I said, I just think we were the better team in the first half. But then how do we follow up a decent first half performance? Well, we followed up with a pathetic and just disgraceful second half performance. What a way to start the second half for West Ham. Jarrod Bowen gets him behind and Ramsdale makes a good save with Kivior closing him down. And I think, that should have woken us up. Hopefully nothing more happens now. And that's just not how it works. That would have been a horrible time to concede. And as soon as I thought, okay, that would have woken us up, hell no, that didn't. Then out of the blue, a West Ham defender, I will be fair, pinged a beautiful ball across the field. And kudos, kudos to Kudus. Yeah, I'm sorry for that one. He had an amazing touch to take the pass down and get inside of Zinchenko. Then Kudus, just slotted in beautifully to the bottom corner. Nothing Ramsdale could have done about that. Horrible time to go 2-0 down. And what a goal for Kudus. We then brought on Tomiyasu and Rice for Zinchenko and Jorginho in what I thought at the time was almost a desperate attempt to regain any sort of control of the game, because right after they scored that second, West Ham were on us like a rash. Zinchenko was so bad defensively throughout the game, so I totally get taking him off. I thought Jorginho was okay, but again, it's probably just because he wanted a little more quality in Declan Rice, so I wasn't opposed to it. Then West Ham whipped in a cross and Ben White clears it with a header and it finds Jarrod Bowen on the edge of the area and he strikes it so cleanly. And with that slight deflection from Kiwior, and it's in the rain, I mean, it made it so much more difficult for Ramsdale. A lot of people blaming Ramsdale for that third goal. I can kind of see your reasoning behind that. But at the same time, you need to understand that ball is whipped in from Jared Bowen. It's raining, and it's a slight deflection that changes the whole trajectory of the ball. It's very hard save. It's pure reactionary. And also, Ramsdale got something onto it. But with that strike, you have to get a solid hand on it. And he just couldn't do that. I don't think Raya saves it. I don't think many keepers in the world save a deflection in the rain with that amount of speed on the ball. So you have to be a little bit fair to him. I think we're all just picking on him a little bit because it was a horrible performance from everyone. We then brought on Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli for Trossard and Nelson in yet another desperate move to find anything positive for us. And listen, you guys might not like this mentality from me, but I thought it was really silly to bring on Gabby and Saka. We're 3-0 down with less than 30 minutes to go and had a huge game coming up on Saturday against Newcastle at St. James's Park in the Premier League. I don't know, at that point, I knew the game was gone, so I found it quite silly and a risk that just wasn't worth taking. I mean, Saka's been injured recently, so has Gabby. I just found it quite ridiculous. I mean, I know neither Trossard nor Nelson were particularly good, but I just found it so silly. I even tweeted that. I just found it very silly. We then also bring on Odegaard for Nketiah while we are 3-0 down with 10 minutes to go. Again, another stupid substitution. I mean, the only reason I would have assumed you would have brought on Odegaard is just to give him some minutes, considering he's been out for, 2 games now? But still, also, I found that quite silly. I mean, there was nothing to gain. We were 3-0 down, 10 minutes to go. What's the point on bringing on someone that could potentially get injured? What was Arteta thinking? I mean, I don't know. And Odegaard scored with a decent finish. I mean, he scores a goal, but I mean, well, what does it mean in the grand scheme of things? Absolutely nothing. Now, going back, for those that are blaming Ramsdale for the game, I don't know what game you're watching. Did he put in a good performance? No, but I mean, who did? I can't see any of the goals, like I said, maybe besides the third goal, being Ramsdale's fault at all. I saw some tweets, I saw some Instagram comments, all saying that Ramsdale was at fault for all 3 of the goals. All 3. The first one he got fouled, shouldn't have been counted, but fine, we give it to them. Second one, I mean, a beautiful finish from Kudos, and if anything, it's probably poor defending from Zinchenko. And the third one, like I said, it's such a tough save to make, and maybe you could say you want him to do better, but again, it's such a tough save to make. But anyway, it was a pathetic, passive, horrible second half performance. I mean, after a decent first half performance where you felt we were maybe unlucky to be down at the break, I don't know what that second half performance was. We looked almost scared of West Ham. We just looked completely overwhelmed and hopeless. This is a game we just kind of have to forget and move on from. We must now shift our mindset, be positive, which is much easier said than done, and we have to show a response on the weekend in a crucial game on Saturday against Newcastle. Yeah, guys, I'm so upset, but it is what it is. We're out of the cup. I mean, I see West Ham got drawn against Liverpool, so I mean, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, I don't know. But with all this being said, I would love to know what you guys thought of the game and where do you guys think it all went wrong for us? What do you think was at fault? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.